everybody. Welcome to the stream. I gotta turn that audio down because that's just loud. But yeah, hello. We are playing more Ace Attorney. I don't remember how much more we have to do. Also, I do apologize for not playing last week. I just did not feel like it, I'll be honest. But yeah, we are now on day 3, Trial Ladder. I was saying that whatever game I play after Phoenix Wright, I will be moving to Thursday, so that I have more time to play it. But Phoenix Wright is a game that I can't play for like a super long time before like kind of half getting bored of it. And so, especially like more recently later on in the kind of like, I want to be done with this, this trial, soon so I can play other games. But yeah, once I move on to another game, which I think I know which game I'm gonna play, but it will go to Thursday unless there's a particular Wednesday where I feel super not tired. Yeah, no, once I'm done with Phoenix Wright, because the amount of a lot of time I have for Phoenix Wright generally is a good amount of time for me. I was thinking of playing A Hat in Time. You know, kind of opposite kind of gameplay. A lot more, yeah. You know, 3D, I think it's like a 3D platformer with story and shit. I've heard good things. So that is the game that's next in the list. Because I mean, going from visual novel to 3D platformer is a very big change, and I kind of need that big change after playing Phoenix Wright for like 4 months now. 4 months, about. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, I've heard good things. The only reason I haven't played Hat in Time before already is, like, I literally wanted to stream it. That's the only reason. Honestly, that's a reason why a lot of games I haven't played, because I want to stream them. So yeah. Though I might play a game I might play a game in between this and Hat in Time. Because from what I understand, Hat in Time is a decently long game. So I might play something like Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion or whatever in between. Something a little shorter, like 1 to 2 streams long. Just as kind of an in-between between long series, as I often have done. I have done shorter games in between long series games. Is that long? Oh, okay. I think you got me the DLCs though. I think I have them. Let me check. Yes, I do. I do have the DLCs, and I'll probably go do it all in one go. Maybe. I mean, I might do a short game in between, you know. Like, 'cause I've got Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. I've got, what other short games do I have in here that I have for the? I don't think I have many in my Steam library as it is, but I definitely have games in mind. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. We're gonna get right into it. I don't, Nick, how many days are there to this episode? Is it 4? I know day 3 is not the final day, because, most likely, because it would say final day, would it not? I feel like it would. Also, I'm already like halfway deep into my monster right now. So, but anyway. We're gonna continue. Okay. Oh shit, I gotta remember the voices. I also apologize for not playing Phoenix last week. I really didn't feel up to it. I wanted to play a lot more, hands-on and less 3D games. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. Officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. His theme, this has been plaguing me for like months now. I still haven't been able to put my finger on it. Anyway. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear it. The wind, the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jacob Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Can't say I particularly care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean, 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those things. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks in the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickey are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Day of the crime. Okay, I'm gonna press everything. Oh, no. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even the time dies in there. I was just a caretaker and interred the recording. You interred them? Videos and nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, the tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it's not going to do him any good. They finally had a cross-helping friends! Let's go! So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room? Oh, hell yeah! That said, I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but I don't have my style. They used to have, where you could transfer your saves a long time ago. Like years ago, like 3 years ago. But they only had it for a limited time. I think like when it came out on PC or when it came out on Switch or something. It, they allowed you to transfer it from one to the other for a very limited amount of time. Hello Mario, welcome to the stream. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, Bart? I told you that ain't my style. Yeah, that is true. It's okay, Mario. I'm afraid I don't understand. Knows Desperado knows I know let's rules get it his way. No desperados I know joined the police force. So, Officer Marshall, the day of the crime? Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in that evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. You know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? Yeah. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course, back in my day, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. It's also very simple. It's general bikes are one singular chain on gears that make the wheels move. Yeah, we were talking about it because I play on Switch, but Nick plays on PC. And we could play together, but we weren't able to, friend each other. I like it. Warframe can be very grindy though. I mean, it's free, so... It's free. I enjoy playing, but I generally also only really enjoy playing when I'm playing with friends. But it is very grindy, and so it's kind of something that you're like, hey, I want to get into a call with a couple friends, but I don't want to just sit there and talk. Let's play a game while we talk, and that game can be Warframe type shit. There's things you have to do solo, but. Yeah, it's generally a co-op game. I mean, you got me. I'm pretty high. I mean, I say I'm pretty high level, but I'm high level. In the sense of I've been playing for like 4 years. But if you really want someone to really carry you, contact Bip, because Bip carries me. You're not bothering me. Like, listen, like, even though I'm like super duper busy and I might not get back to like messages, really quickly, like, you're not bothering me by texting me. Like, the worst I'll say is, hey, maybe not today, you know? That's it. You're not bothering me. I'm like, if I'm not busy, I'm down to play. Like, pretty much any game. DRG, Warframe, some other game. You know. Yeah. I have waves of it where I get really into it. I really like hunting in that game. And when you hunt a certain amount of a specific animal, you get a little plushie of that animal. I have a shrine of Kuaka plushies. I have so many. Like, Nick can attest to the fact that I have probably over 300 plushies in my base. In my ship. And you need, like, 5 Kuakas hunted per plushie. So, I've spent a lot of time just hunting. I have so many. And it is, like, my favorite thing. I'm like, my Kuaka shrine. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And if you want me to carry you through, like, the first couple planets, I will totally do that. Yeah. The sensors on the lockers and handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. No, now that you mention it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem like this is related to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like the further you get, the better like defense missions. Generally what you do in order to grind up your like player rank, you generally level weapons and warframes and stuff, and you generally do that in defense missions because they're an endless defense and you get a lot of EXP doing them. So the further planets you have, the better defense missions you can do, and the faster you can level up and stuff. They do, but they are the best for... I don't like survival personally. I much prefer defense because it's so much more mindless. Like, I don't really have to think about anything with defense. Like, I literally just have to stand on the cargo and kill. Survival, I have to worry about life support though. That's the thing. Also, survival didn't used to be a... Survival didn't used to... I don't think survival used to exist. At least as much as it does right now. Like, it was a very rare mission when I first started playing. So, I'm just used to defense missions. I was eating spaghetti. Not even an angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongole sepia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? And not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this at least has taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want to raise this year?" Yeah, granting void artifacts. That is, when you can get a void fissure defense mission for like a void fissure type that you need is like, mwah, beautiful. It's glorious. It's my most favorite thing. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner, or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. A steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently, your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I better up the ante. Now, how the hell am I gonna do that? Okay. Tab, please. Thank you. Okay. Not that. This one was someone else. You? No. Welcome back. Okay, maybe I should actually think shit over. Okay, that got me nowhere. Better up the ante. With what, though? Oh my god, I hate that. I hate when I have to do that. I wish I could literally just like check a box in my settings and that I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. They also make the fucking don't upgrade option very, very small. And I always fear that it's gonna pop up one time when like someone who's not me is using my computer and hits upgrade. That would suck. Yeah, it happens randomly, like every couple months. Yeah. It is annoying because you have to go through like four different menus saying no in the tiniest font each time. Was allegedly dancing in the evidence room at the time of the murder at the PD. That is beautiful. Did this? Nope. Oh, computer, shut up. I moved my fucking wire. I mean, I have evidence to prove that he wasn't. Maybe I tried that? Like, it is kind of my ace, but like... But I'll try it. And the music stopped. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what is the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the scene of the crime? Blood was wiped away. However, luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just so happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know that the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. How do you know that the murderer was wearing gloves? The witness's explanation appears valid. I guess we mentioned that earlier in the trial, huh? Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. However, to prove it. Ooh, okay, let me press. That's because you had to pay respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock without ever knowing it. So then what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. Chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue it's just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, the other's a type of murderer. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's handprint? That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? Picture. This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail is in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Nothing. Continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna hit yes, and if I can't find anything, then I will just reload, I guess. Evidence. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence, or whatever. Fucking... put this over here. There! No! Damn it. It's alright, we get to see him go. Look at him go! No, I hit- oh, I hit the wrong- if I hit J for long enough, will it bring me back to the- it won't, damn it. Time to do this again, he do be dancing, look at him go, look at him go, look at him go. I thought I hit the pause button, I actually hit the other button. The one that isn't pause, so here we are. Look at him go! He's moving! No, I hit pause! I hit it! For fuck's sake. I literally fucking hit the pause button. You do not understand, I literally hit shift. here. I was looking for discrepancies and over here because we've already paid enough attention to this side of the confrontation. And so it had to be something over here that we hadn't noticed before. What is the... There we go. Take that. Bring our attention back to the security camera. Is a mistake I'm afraid you'll not soon forget, Officer Marshall. These days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. Key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What is the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. It would seem that that's the only... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker, stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to shoot mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force who don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! Order! Witness, explain yourself. This is a joke. It's the worst one I've heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the law crime. Ole! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's a right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. White cloth. Oh, I can't look at my evidence. Like, I have a hunch, right? But I don't think that hunch is right. But like, I have a hunch. You know, white cloth. Could be the jacket that he had on. I don't think we saw his face in the video. So he could have been pretending, but then he wouldn't have needed the glove to open the locker. He wouldn't have played up because he didn't know about the fingerprint locks. But the only place he could have been is like over here. But then he would have been seen on the camera unless he hid back here. And I don't know which of those to try. Honestly, I think the victim one is probably the best hunch. Simply because we didn't see the face of Officer Goodman in the video. We just assumed it was him because of the hat and the coat. And considering there was a white object in Marshall's locker that could have been the coat, you know. How'd I do it? Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the room, I asked him to show his ID card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled the knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. The man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized that the man wasn't Detective Goodman. You have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. Can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't hear me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the only one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. It's so obvious that he's the one. What can I do? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I don't remember what voice I gave Mia. It was so long ago. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in the disguise. But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time. Yet he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered later as it had been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the scene of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. To stash the jacket that he had gotten blood on. The fact that the white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the videotape is the key to all our unanswered questions. I have any evidence. Videos are my only shot. It's totally the coat that had blood on it. Very well, let's take another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had opened his locker. He's doing a little jig! Look at him go! For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you're only as half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have had to be here right now would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and I dressed up like him. I planned to take out all the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for a small donation. Oh. Thinking. Oh. Sorry, I was itching my eye and taking a drink. Beep beep. Beep 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 beep. I don't know. Let me save first, because like I've gotten decently far since my last save. And I'm also like almost half health. Random luck? Huh? Roll dice? No. God, I'm yawning so much. I don't know why, bro. Bro, that was really a hard crash. I was not feeling tired whatsoever. Literally an hour ago. Now I'm I fall asleep right now. What? So I have my hair up in a half ponytail right now, and it's fucking doing that fucking anime fucking hairstyle thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the how it goes like, and then like that up. It's literally my hair is literally. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't got it? Okay. We're gonna have a little fun time, right? What do you mean? Incomprehensible thing. Why isn't paint showing up? I mean, I can decipher what I said, because I can decipher what I said. Okay, here, I'll do this. That's the wrong one. That one. Okay. Over here, right? You have the head. Okay, the head. And then the hair. Right. Hair. Face. That's not a face. Nose. Chin. Chin. Okay. Head, right? Ponytail here. Goes up, like this. I'm just gonna hear that. Goes like this, and then like that. That second line's terrible. Like, literally like that. That's what my hair is doing right now. Like, I have it all tied up into the ponytail here. Yeah! Yeah, exactly. The anime ponytail hairstyle. This is what I'm talking about right here. Also, it's like the best side profile I've ever drawn, and I did it with my fucking mouse in goddamn MS Paint. Tired, okay? If I just had made the front bang come out just a little bit, that would have been actually like decent. I'm terrible at side profiles. Like, I'm the absolute worst at them. So I'm kind of surprised this one's actually comprehensible. That's my hair right now. Except I have this little fucking strand of hair that refuses to sit nicely. So I braided it earlier today. But the braid has since fallen out. Anyway. Yeah, that's my hair right now. Anyway, I realized I covered up Void with that. Oh my god. Anyway. I'm gonna delete that. So I'll have to worry about having that in my fucking thing. Okay. Boop. Don't save. Cool. There we go. Anyway, we'll go back to the game. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, Bart? DS Online incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. In normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker for yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins, I'm not about you. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder, demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. And I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it'd make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day... But the blood found on the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker room. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. That was the wrong voice. I gave him the slight accent at first. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty? Oh my god, why is my face itchy? Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why'd you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. You know that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one's mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted of his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is? I had a feeling this would wind up sooner or later, yeah. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Fuck. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed, and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That's the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Case was finally closed. At least, according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for this insane action? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 incident could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Ooh. Yawn. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. Exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the evidence at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murders at the police department. Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely uncontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. I rest my case. Seems this trial has come reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't even waste my time. It's proving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that it would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Emma! Your Honor, wait! Emma? The defense has an objection. A scientific objection! Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking for is a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the name of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only the one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found in the Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, the traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there any problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We do not have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint Detective on Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I mean, I've checked. There has to be a problem with it. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. Itch, 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 itch. The only thing that seems clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us play the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Oh shit. It's this, right? It's the Blue Badger. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So? So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot in the locker. What? So that means, just what exactly does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? The blood traces were undeniably found in that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think through it scientifically. Huh? On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean the blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on the tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which fell a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on the tape, and it had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, it does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. So then, assuming this murder you report just really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident take place? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who is posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, the proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the evidence took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? This here, right? Because it's the first... Right? The crime took place in the evidence room and the killer would have had to enter it. Well, no, the videotape proves that it doesn't prove anything about the first murder. The first incident. In order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card. Oh! The ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger into the into the evidence room at, let's see here, 5:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Ah. Ah. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out that it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim and carry his body away and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth had entered into the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 777777777. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 77777. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID card is 7777777. That's 1 7's too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I am unable to look up the owner of that ID card, at least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher, someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge is filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge. You're all alike, aren't you, with your cover-ups and forgeries? That's how the prosecutor office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant's still sitting over there. To your own little executive. Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I wanted to ask. All I wanted to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really use only legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Hedgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of prosecution for the trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana, I became prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't... I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. See? That's what I'm talking about. No, no! Order, order, order! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom cannot be quelled. We would have to wait till the following day. Wild. Do 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 do. I think we're in investigation now. Yeah. Okay. I'm tired. I'm yawning like every 5 seconds. So I'm gonna call it here. And plus we're at a midpoint, you know? So yeah. This is gonna be the end of the stream. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.